Yes, guys, welcome to Football United TV. It's not SFeatleyTV, it's Football United TV. Yes, unfortunately, Marlie is not available here tonight to do the show, so I've kindly stepped in to do it, to take it on myself to do it, as he's done it for me for my channel, so I'm doing it for the guys here at Football United TV. So big up to Marlie. I hope he gets back very, very soon. I have got Saeed and I've got Tiho in the building. How are you, Saeed? How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. It's been a good day. Sun is out. Arsenal is not playing games, so can't complain.
None of that now. Come on. Right, I'm trying my best not to say anything. I've got Tiho as well. How are you?
Pissed off about the Buendia deal, but it goes.
Yeah, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. By the way, guys, we will be expecting more guests to come along during the show, so keep your eyes peeled for them. But in the meantime, we will get on with it. So let's get on with it. Yeah, so let's get on with it. So we're gonna go into obviously the Buendia deal, which was the main sort of talking point this week for Arsenal fans. The fact that Villa have beaten us to Buendia. The fact we wouldn't pay that extra 5 million or whatever extra much it would have cost him to get the player, and that the fact that he would have rather chosen Villa over Arsenal, which speaks a lot of volumes. Uh, what do you make of it, Tiho? What I mean, you're obviously upset about it clearly, so I'm gonna go start with you.
Yeah, I mean, the thing you said that we couldn't pay an extra 5 million for Buendia and that Villa of Aston Villa have beaten us to Buendia. It's just painful, really.
Yeah, we're gonna
And
mention this, and yeah, go on. Sorry.
yeah, the only excuse we can use now if we go for a better player.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, Saeed, what's your feelings towards this?
If I'm being honest, I'm not. I'm not too upset with it because first of all, I didn't want us to buy Buendia because I think if we bought Buendia, that would have been probably the end of Nicolas Pepe because he's been playing right wing for the past 2 seasons. All this gives about that he's a number 10. I don't get where it comes from because if he can't play as a number 10 for Norwich in Championship, how is he going to be able to play as a number 10 for Arsenal in the Premier League? I don't understand why people think he's a number 10. He's a right winger who likes to play as an inverted winger. And I think it also tells you that probably Arteta doesn't trust Pepe because last year we bought Willian and he kind of took his place in the start of the season. And this year it would have been Buendia. And I also think that it's good that we have a limit where we feel like if the price is getting beyond what we are willing to pay, we're not gonna waste the money. I think I'd rather have that than us paying too much for a player. That's just my view on it.
Yeah. We got James here as well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, definitely. What's your feelings towards this, mate?
Uh, Personally, Buendia was top of the list for me. I think, being realistic, despite the links, I don't think we'd get Grealish. I think that's a bit of a unrealistic target as much as I'd love it. But it's same old Arsenal. We put in too much in instalments, and Villa offered it all up top, and in the end, we've missed out.
Yeah, definitely. It's gutting. I mean, my feelings on it was it's uh, it's to a point now. I'm not really ranting as much though. It's kind of what I expect from Arsenal. Not wanting to pay an extra 5 mil. trying to get a player to go off with him instead of just paying the money. Obviously, like, it's just speaks volumes about the amount of problems that are at Arsenal at the minute. But yeah, so for me, as long as they have some more options that could go with, which to the sound of it, they don't look like they have many, but yeah, we're not going to get the main people that we need. And my only fear is that then we start using that as an excuse for next season if we're playing poorly. That's my only fear with it. But we're going to move on to who's the other one? Who's the other one? Basuma. Basuma, who looks like he's on his way to Liverpool. And I'm going to start with you, Say. Would you? I mean, so Basuma looked like the one that was nailed on to come to Arsenal, and he wanted to come to Arsenal. The director gave us sort of a vote of confidence over Liverpool, who are interested in him. Now he looks set to go to Liverpool.
Yeah, it's a very weird one. For me, I'll say this: as much as I personally am not the biggest fan of the manager, but if the club wants to keep the manager, then surely they have to back him with signings. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, and I don't understand. I mean, one week we are linked to Buendia, another week we are linked to Bissouma, another week we are linked to Neves. None of these players have any similarity in playing style. I'm struggling to understand what we want to do in the market. And surely, if they had identified Bissouma, they should go and get him. The player wants to get here. The only reason I can think of maybe why they are backing off is probably because of maybe they didn't expect Granit Xhaka to leave, and having both Partey, Bissouma, and then he leave in January for Africa Cup of Nations can be a big worry because so many central players leaving at the same time. But surely they have known for a long time that he plays for an African country. So again, it's a weird one.
Yeah, absolutely a weird one. Tiho, what's your feelings, man?
I mean, to be fair, Bissouma, I like Bissouma, but in my opinion, he's not the best option. I feel that Neves is better than him. But then again, Neves might be a bit more expensive, and it's as Side said, it's a weird one.
Yeah, it is a weird one. And when it's all been set in stone, all of a sudden it just in the blink of an eye now. And that's why these days I don't how do you put it? I don't expect it to happen or I don't get big up. I don't sort of take it as like, yeah, I'll go report that on a stream or something until it's really confirmed that it's practically he's going to sign the contract that day. So yeah, James, what's your feelings before I go to some more comments?
Our transfer windows, it's a mess. If you look at Neves, Basuma, Awar, Eduard, Buendia, the closest similarities there are Neves and Awar. If we're being honest, all the other ones are so far apart from each other. And I like Basuma. I think he's top player, and next to Thomas Partey, I think those two could thrive. And I think that would allow whoever we want to sign in can, whether it be now Buendia's on, whether it be Eduard, whether it be Awar, whether it be Grealish, whoever it might be. Whoever that target is unclear at the moment, but it would allow them a lot more freedom. It will allow Smith Rowe freedom, Saka. So I think Basuma is a must. And the fact we're missing out into Liverpool is a victim of us thinking that we can't sign players until the last week of the transfer window again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is gutting. And again, I think this one they have an alternative this time. I think with Neves, and we'll have a look at him in a minute. I'm just going to go for some comments. Talkman, you are. You let's be having. Yeah, sorry for the being a bit late. Make sure everyone was getting. We got here on time, so we're all here now. So don't worry. Hi all, what a beautiful day. Tune into your show. Love you all. Big up on Monday. Smash. That was me. I don't realize that is me. Yes, I do. Thank you. Big. Oh, that's also Matt as well. So if you see comments on the way, right, I'll put mine in capitals. Matt will put his in normal, right? Big up the panel. Thank you, Stephen. That's not a problem, mate. Right, he did it for me, so I'll do it for you. We'll post that tomorrow. Good. Big up the panel. On my way over for work, I'm able to watch. Yeah, if you know any options that Arsenal can go for, please put it in the comments and we will look at them. Are you keeping Woodard? And we come to that actually. And what right back are you looking at, Max Aarons? We're going to look at a few options, but I'm going to want to look at Eduard as well, because apparently now Leicester City are beating us to the Celtic striker that's had an unbelievable record at Celtic so far. I want to ask actually though, is that because he's at Celtic and the level there is not as great? And do you think he'd be able to, if he did come in, would he be any good on Arsenal, knowing that Lacazette played in France and was doing really well in France and not really lived up to the exact what we were hoping for? Or do you think that's another big miss for Arsenal? And I'll start with Tiho.
About who?
About Eduard to Leicester City.
Well, based on the striker options in the transfer market who are available, I think there aren't really better players than Eduard, to be fair. And it's a quite big miss if we were going for strikers, but it's still to be seen if Lacazette, Aubameyang leave. So it's really all to be seen if we sell another striker or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Say, what's your opinion on this?
Well, last year I wanted Eduard. I thought last year was the perfect time to actually sell Lacazette and give Eduard less pressure to thrive and learn from Aubameyang. I think he's a decent talent. But I have to say this year hasn't been his best year. He's had a lot of dips from time to time. I'm not sure if it is because he was pushing so hard to leave Celtic last year or if it is something else. I mean, it is a risk. It's always a risk when you buy a striker, especially from a league that's not as competitive as maybe the top 3 or 4 leagues in the world. And I feel like right now we can't afford to take in Eduard because we have so many other priorities that we need to get done first, and we don't even know what's going to happen to Lacazette. So unless we sell a striker, I don't see the need. I'd rather see players like Balogun and Martinelli get an opportunity up front, and we're not playing in Europe as well.
Yeah, James, I'll go to you. I mean, is it a missed opportunity again from Arsenal?
I think it depends on what Mikel Arteta wants to go for. I think if he wanted a target man, if he wants to play off a big man up top and he wanted that almost Olivier Giroud type striker, but with a bit more pace, a bit more about him, I think he's missed out. But if he wants to go, like he said, he wants Martinelli as a striker, if he wants to go the quick hit and run in behind man, I don't think we've missed out at all. And it's yet to be seen what Arteta wants in a striker because he's had to mess about. He's had to play Nketiah, he's had to play Aubameyang, Martinelli, Lacazette. So it's yet to be seen what Mikel Arteta actually wants in a striker. I mean, he played Smith Rowe as a false 9 against Villarreal. I mean, what does Mikel Arteta want? So if he wanted a target man, we've missed out, but it doesn't look like he does. So I don't think we've missed out on this one.
You sure? Okay. So I thought it would be I thought it would be a big miss for Arsenal in a sense. But whether I mean, I don't know that this. I'm going to look at other players to go with, and maybe for me, he wasn't my go-to target for a striker. So, but we'll wait and see. But options with Basuma, for example, we're looking at Ruben Neves, and now he looks certain he's going to come to Arsenal. Is apparently, from what we've all heard, it's been agreed, and some Arsenal fans are saying he's a good buy. Some Arsenal fans are not sure. James, what do you think about Ruben Neves? Do you think he's a suitable fit for what Arsenal need in that midfield? Because midfield is where we're struggling at, and like with the fact that we're getting rid of Granit Xhaka, who's not good enough, and other players that like El Neni that aren't good enough. We know they're not. And do you feel Ruben Neves is that player we need to go alongside Partey, who basically needs some assistance?
Him and Basuma are very different players. I think Neves is the creative playmaker. He's a bit like Eduard in that sense, whereas Basuma, he's defensive-minded, box-to-box, very similar to Thomas Partey. And I think that if Mikel Arteta trusts Partey to play CDM on his own, which we've seen last season he can't do, he can't play that role on his own. If he trusts him to play on his own, then Ruben Neves and Eduard are the top fits. If he doesn't trust him on his own, we have to go for Basuma or another defensive-minded midfielder like Locatelli or someone else. We've missed out on Suamare, who's going to Leicester now. Another miss for us. But I think Neves is... I think he's too attack-minded, too playmaker-based. I think we need defensive solidarity compared to more attack.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Anti in the building. How are you, my friend?
Not too bad, Stephen. You?
Yeah, not too bad. We're just going through now some of the options. Obviously, we've known that Eduard's not going to come, Basuma's not going to come, Buendia is not going to come to Arsenal. So, I was just going to ask, what do you say to? Because you obviously were quite highly praisable of Ruben Neves.
Yeah, I think highly of Ruben Neves. It's like what I said. My opinion of him hasn't changed really. He's a good player. He's strong. He's a good DM. He could be a box-to-box sort of player as well. He's good at free kicks. Got a powerful shot on him. Good pass with the ball. He's got everything there what we need.
Yeah, definitely. Just before I see how just go through some more comments as well. Interesting, like you say, with Eduard. I don't think he's good enough. I'm just wondering, because the difference between the Scottish League and the Premier League are vastly different. Hey people, hey Matt, I hope that's cool. How he eats. Bruno, how are you, mate? Nice to see you in the chat. Just commuting home. Paston Daka would be a good option up front. We'll talk about him in a sense. James, if you praise Neves, you kicked from the Arsenal chat. Wow. Okay. And big up Monday saying, Anthony, how are you? And Neves isn't. Yeah. Neves is an Arteta signing for sure. Okay. So apparently, James, what are you saying about Neves?
Like I said, he's not what we need. We need Basuma. Partey's not good enough on his own. I think if Thomas Partey was better, I'd be sat here and saying we need Eduard or Neves, but Thomas Partey is not, from what we saw last season, he's not the CDM that could play on his own. He's not like Fernandinho for Man City or Fabinho for Liverpool. He's not that good. Good player for sure, but not near that level. So if we were sat here and talk about Fabinho in our midfield, I'd be saying go and sign Neves, go and sign Eduard. But we're not. We're talking about Thomas Partey here, and I think we need Basuma way, way more.
Okay. Say, what should you say to that?
Yeah, first of all, what I would say is that Partey in general is not a CDM player. He is a physical box-to-box midfielder that if you want, you can put him there, but it's not his best position. He didn't play there a lot at Atletico. He is more like into that Vieira factor. Like, he's not as good as Vieira, but, you know, tall, physical, good at interceptions, good at breaking up, can transport the ball over big stats over the field. That's more his type. Meanwhile, Ruben Neves, he's more like a playmaking CDM. So he's the guy who can build up play, start to play from the back. He's very comfortable with the ball with his feet and with his back towards the goal. He likes to move the ball fast. He doesn't dribble a lot, and he doesn't transport the ball high on the field. He's more the guy who want to, and he likes to create chances as well. He's a very flexible player. He can play as the CDM next to Partey, and he can also play as a more box-to-box midfielder if you want that. He has the ability to put the ball into the opposition box, and he also have a good shot. I think he would be a very good option if you want to play like a double pivot. I think he could do that role very well. And I also think that if we had a CDM, another one, he could play as a number 8. But it depends on what the manager wants to do. And it depends on if we're going to play a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 or whatever position he wants us to play. But as I've said before, I struggle to see what Arteta wants to do because the players we are linked to are so different to each other. They have so many different qualities that you can't really see that, oh, this is what we are trying to build.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, absolutely. I'm just gonna run through some more comments just quickly before I go to see how about it, because the comments have just gone mad. Where are we? It's why I like keeping up to date with. Bruno, to be honest, if I don't mind who we sign because I trust Arteta because he knows his football. So I trust he'll make a good signing who will fit the system. Trust the process. Well, I'm not gonna do. This is not my channel, so I'm not gonna do what I usually do on my channel, and we know the ritual I do. Let's just put it that way. If you see my name, mate, it spells it quite clearly for you.
Stephen, just don't swear. Just do the birdie. Do the birdie. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, just read what at the end of the name, and you get the hint. I'm not going to mention any more than that. I'm on another Cersei channel. So Partey is a midfielder. He can do it all, but don't think he can be defined as a CDM. No, he's not a CDM. He's nothing definitely. Hybrid. What's it? Kings is on point.
Big up on Monday.
Big up Monday as usual. Sven, like James just said, I don't think that Partey could play. Only he needs a partner, absolutely. And change your webcam on. No, if they don't want to, they don't have to. Right? Petit and Vieira did it all. realistic. If we want to compete, we need a Basuma, and a Neves not one type of player. And Neves not one type of player, because our midfield has so many gaps, especially when it comes to depth. We can just sign one mid like we did last season, and yeah, that helped us a lot that season, didn't it? Thank you, Anthony. He's joining. Sorry, I had to say that one. We need do we? I don't know who he is. Eduard and Basuma. So yeah, I'm going to come to footy influence. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Yeah, what's your taking over Neves? Do you think it's a good option for Arsenal?
It's probably if you want like a replacement for Xhaka, he's probably the one I'll be targeting right now from the prem. But I don't think we need a replacement for Xhaka. I think we need a different type of midfielder.
Yeah, what midfielder would you go for then?
I would probably go for CDM. So Partey can probably play like a box to box, and Smith Rowe can play as a 10 or as a half 8.
Yeah, absolutely. Portmean is a class centre back. I'm gonna have to go to it because everyone keeps mentioning about it. So, does anyone know who he is? Because I don't know.
He plays for Cambridge United, mate.
Yeah, I was gonna say I had no clue who he is. So that's what I was thinking. Yeah. So obviously, Amundi mentioned it earlier in the chat about Max Aarons, and my only problem is if Bayern's still interested in him, I don't think we'll get him. So, what other options would you say as a right back? So we all know we need another right back, as well as probably a left back as well. But who would you say that Arsenal could go for if we can't get Aarons because of Bayern Munich? I'm going to say,
I think it depends on who is going to start as the right winger for me. And the reason why I say that is that if Pepe is going to be given an opportunity, then we need a right back that doesn't play that inverted role, because that's where Pepe wants to be. That's where he wants to beat the left back and go into his left foot and bang it in the corner. That's how you get the best out of Pepe. And if you have a right back that overlaps, he will isolate Pepe with that player. But if you have a right back that plays the inverted style, then Pepe will have two players he has to face. And that's what we saw with Hector Bellerin. And that's why whenever Bellerin didn't play, is when we saw the best out of Nicolas Pepe. It's not a coincidence. It was the same under Emery when Ainsley was playing and then Bellerin got back into the team. And it's been the same when we've seen Chambers and Cedric play there. Nicolas Pepe play much better. So if we want to give Pepe an opportunity, I would go for a right back that likes to overlap. And the funny thing is that because Norwich, they don't have a big striker, Max Aaron has played as an inverted right back, but I think he can do the overlapping role because he's very fast. He's a decent crosser. So I wouldn't mind Max Aaron's. I wouldn't mind the Turkish international from Lille. I think his name is Celik. He's only listed to be, I think, 15 million pounds, which I think is a good price. And because our budget is so limited, it could give us option to buy two players going central. So yeah, that's my view on.
yeah, absolutely. Tio, what do you say?
I mean, as an Right back options, I think Arsenal are looking at two main options now in Mazraoui from Ajax and Celik from Lille, and both wouldn't be really expensive, and um, Aaron's would be 30 million, 40 million, I don't know. They would be around 20, so I mean, I'd love Aaron's, but I don't think it's realistic. So I think we're gonna get either Mazraoui or Celik.
Yeah, absolutely. Just want to quickly shout out Melina, who's I saw your Twitter post about your graduation. Right, big up, well done, absolute legend, right, Melina. Right, so big up, Melina. Always in the chat as usual. Anthony, come to you. What would you say?
I think, to be honest with you, obviously I like Max Aarons, but it's like what you said with Bayern Munich and how much he's going to cost. I did read going back last week that they could be Arsenal could be interested in Kieran Trippier, the ex Tottenham right back. He's 30 at the minute, but I mean, in all fairness, he's not a bad player, and he could do for a few seasons, couldn't he? So you know, there's that option, but they're trying to pick a cheaper option. So that'd be a good option if we can get him. And also thinking about, you know, maybe bringing in a centre back as well. That could be good. Maybe someone strong that can do his dunk.
Yeah,
Trippier,
Lewis Dunk is an option for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're getting for about 20. Well, I think he costs about 20 million now. I think something like that. They're around about 20, 25.
I'm not so sure. I'd say it'd be about 30 mil for me. I don't know what everyone
40
else
mil.
thinks.
I don't know. I think he's almost 30 now, and he's like 20, 29. He's almost 30. So, but then again, you know, it's good options there. I mean, I would like someone like a Mings from Aston Villa. That'd be good.
I want to throw this out there actually, because we're going on about centre-mids. I want to move on to right backs. We've moved on to right backs in this side, but I just want to quickly bring it to central midfield because I forgot to mention something, and it's sparked off a big debate, very very fiery debate, last time, and I want to bring it up again, here, and I want to get your opinions on it. Willock. Now, for me, from what I've seen for the half season he's been at Newcastle, granted he's at Newcastle, he's been playing a lot better than what most of our midfielders have been playing. Carrying the ball, driving up forwards, creating chances, scoring goals. Why I don't feel, for me, I think he deserves another chance. For me, from what I've seen. Right? So I don't know what your guys' feelings on it. I mean, James, do you feel that Willock should get another chance, or do you think his time's up at Arsenal?
I think the difference was at Arsenal, he was playing in the attacking mid-role where Smith Rowe plays, whereas Newcastle, because the way Steve Bruce plays, he's playing as a box-to-box almost. He had the defensive responsibility like Thomas Partey has at the club, but he had the attacking responsibility like ESR had. So I think that if we're looking at Neves and we're looking at Eduard, why aren't we saying to Joe Willock, go out there and grab your chance?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Say, what do you say, man?
I like Joe Willock. I think he's a decent player. I think he has certain attributes that he's great at, and then he has certain attributes that he's not that as good at. I think, for example, Joe Willock is not a passer. He's not gonna be that guy who's gonna be that creative guy, and that's why I didn't understand why Mikel played him as a number 10, because even under Unai Emery played him usually as a box-to-box player, and that's his best position. He's good at carrying the ball, running into the final third and being a goal threat. That's what Joe Willock is all about. So if he wants to play a 4-3-3 or a 3 kind of 5-2 that Newcastle play, then perfect. Why not give him? But if you're gonna play a 4-2-3-1, I struggle to see where he fits in because, as I said, with his qualities, I can see why he thrived in the Newcastle team. And for me, if we get 25 million, 30 million, I would sell him with a buyback option. And if we get less than 25 million, I would just give him an opportunity.
Yeah, I hear that. Tiho, what do you say?
I mean, I like Willock. He's a good player in my opinion, but if we can sell him for 35, 40 million even, it's a definite go for me because we'll never get the opportunity to sell him for more, I reckon.
Yeah, excuse me. Just a quick thing. Go on, keep going. Actually, sorry. Footy influence. What's your opinion? Just go short on out in a minute. Do me a favor. Go
I
on.
think like if we wanna raise the funds, it's probably like the best time that we could sell Willock right now. And I think like he's also kind of similar to Partey in the way he plays, but a little more attacking, I would say. So if we wanna raise funds, it's probably the best time that we can sell him. But if you wanna play him, maybe Partey would have to change to a more CDM role than he is now.
Yeah. I've lost it. I've lost where I was going. Anthony, what do you make of it, man? Well, I asked you
I'll
already.
give him. No, you haven't asked me. No, I'll give him another chance. I'll give him another chance, Stephen. I will give him another chance. I mean, because he's been so well in that midfield for Newcastle. I mean, for him, what he's achieved there, he obviously suits that style of football what Steve Bruce actually plays. And I watched Newcastle quite a few times last season, and with Steve Bruce, he tends to play him out on the wing as well. Which I've seen, he sends it play him out on the wing, and he likes that free roll where he's running and he cuts in and which he's been doing and been scoring goals. So I mean, could we do that? You know, could we play him out on the wing? And if so, if you do play him out on the wing, who'd you drop? Would you drop Pepe for him or?
I think Newcastle play a very different kind of midfield. So he was playing as the right centre mid. So they had like 3 central midfielders. So he was the right side on that centre mid. We don't really play that formation.
Yeah,
that's what I would say.
Yeah, because our midfielders is totally different. Ours is constantly attacking all the time. Our midfield, and even though Newcastle do attack, but they don't attack as much as ours because obviously, you know, Steve Bruce has obviously got a different style of the way how he plays his team and the way how he wants the players to play, which he does suit that role quite good. But I'm all through Willock staying with us next season. Give him a chance. If you can give Smith Rowe a chance, you know, and play Smith Rowe and Saka, why not Willock?
Yeah, absolutely. Sven, mate, is that you? I sent you the link if you want to come on, mate. So but yeah, I don't see why we can't give Willock another chance. For me, from what I've seen, I don't think what really he can much else he can prove himself to do. So yeah, so move on to, for me, another player I want to bring into it, because we're all looking at about another centre back. Another one I'm looking at is because we're also thinking about Saliba coming back for Arsenal. Now, for me, he needs to be starting now. He needs to be brought into this team and start playing. For me, so footy influence. What do you say? Do you feel Saliba now needs to start playing and be playing every week by Arteta?
Yeah, I think so. At least like almost, I think like we need to sign an experienced player now with Luis leaving. So I expect Saliba to at least start almost half the games available and like kind of exchange with another experienced player.
Yeah, I'm just gonna fly through some of these comments actually, because I've missed so many comments. There's so many comments actually. Jesus. I'm trying to go through them, but yeah, smash the like, people. Shout out Marina. Arteta out Ollie in. Honest Arsenal fan. Oh, okay. Melina, congrats. Yeah, big up Melina as usual. Well done for your graduation. And
Yeah, well done, Melina.
Not Mings. Concert is clear of Mings. Yeah, we'll talk. Yeah, we'll actually talk about that in a minute. And do you know what? Bye, Spoosy. Get out. No comments like that. Thank you. Willock is so clear. Bingard. Iceland. Right on here. Maybe if you do well. Yeah. If you can DM Marlie or Matt on Twitter, then you can definitely come on. No, I banned Luke. No, I banned Luke because he made a very anti-Semitic comment. So get out of it. Right, don't like it? Jog on. Sorry. Yeah, if you behave in the chat, you might join the panel next week. Absolutely. Lauren, big up yourself. Just don't fit to our team. He's gonna have to be on the bench. You agree with that, guys, or disagree?
I agree and I don't agree. I think with Willock, if he is given another season, you could rotate him, can't you, into the squad? So that it's worth playing in some games, and some games you'll have to give it to whether you're going to put him in the role of Smith Rowe or you're going to put him in the role of Pepe. Well, one of those roles. So he's a bench warmer, but he's also not a bench warmer, if that makes sense. He can come on and play a few minutes in certain games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So he's back with us. I want to move on. With like someone mentioned about Mings, and Concert. Concert, I don't too much about Mings. Obviously, I know a bit about watching him play for England, watching him play for Aston Villa, and obviously Mings is going to be deeply looked on as we go into the Euros. And this is the problem as well: is that Arsenal are taking. Do you think Arsenal are taking a big risk not having any of these deals done by now? And the fact we're going into the Euros, which could, we all know with the Euros, if someone like a Neves has an absolute amazing performance in the Euros, it bumps the price up even more. So we end up paying more of a premium because of it. I mean, that's a big risk again by Arsenal, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, do you know what's even more complicated is you can buy a player before the Euros, he goes to the Euros, get injured, and miss out the whole season. And you can not buy a player, he goes to the Euros, he does fantastic, and you can't afford him anymore. So it's like, it's a risk factor. So that's why I think we should have done at least 1 or 2 signings before and then wait until after the Euros. So we have some kind of a balance of, yeah, okay, we've secured this 1 or 2 signings. Now let's see how the others does in the Euros, and also let's see at other alternative players that won't be in the Euros that we might be able to get in during that time, because not all good football players plays in a European team, or not all good players plays in a team that's gonna be playing in the Euros as well. But yeah, I have to say I'm disappointed that we haven't made any signings yet, and I think it's very risky.
Yeah, I mean, I always think it's very risky before European for any sort of tournament, World Cup, European Championships. I mean, James Rodriguez, for example, had that. Was it? I think it was 2014, wasn't it? He had that worldie of a World Cup, being the top, the Golden Boot winner, and then like, how much did Real Madrid pay for him? Like millions. I mean, the Götze, who end up scoring the winning goal, and his price went from about, what, 40 million to about 70, 80, something like that. So for me, yes, it's always dangerous. So Anthony, what would you say? I mean, it is a bit of a risk for Arsenal, who like to sell, who we know is who likes to save money.
Yeah, he does like to save money. I said, but it's like
Especially,
what you said.
especially the fact we've also
Go on.
it's also with the fact that we are doing this on a budget, because we're only doing how much we sell.
Yeah. Well, it's like what you said, when you see these players playing, they do play in the Euro, and they slap a price tag on them, and then after the Euros, they slap another price tag on them, which is normally around about anywhere between, it could be 10, 15 million pounds dearer. So but because we're on about, are we on about Mings? Are we, or
Yeah, no, we're just on about the fact that we're having to pay premium.
premium? Yeah. So is premium on no matter what players it is now. So it is going to be within the budget transfer. I mean, obviously Arteta has been told he's got to sell before he buys. But then again, not being funny, Emery was told that when he was a manager, and about 2 or 3 weeks after, we break the transfer record with us, and we signed Pepe for 72 million. So it swings and roundabouts, really. So, but yeah, you are right. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Tiho, would you say? I mean, we're working on a budget that's only really, we don't really know unless we know how much we've sold, and yet we only made one transfer yet before a major tournament, which could, if we want to get one of these targets that we know they're good quality and they have a brilliant World Cup, European Championship, sorry, we're gonna have to pay even more, right? And that's something Arsenal won't do if we haven't got the money.
Yeah, I mean, I have the feeling every major club in England has made a transfer signing already, besides Arsenal. And I mean, the Conkies said they wanted to do something big. Prove it. They haven't proven anything yet. And it's time for them to step up.
Yeah, I hear that. Definitely. I mean, James, do you see like a like it's difficult to see any positives from this at the minute, and I think if you look at it from an Arsenal point of view at the minute, it's very negative, and I think we're still not happy with the way the season finished, how the season went, and the fact that no sort of changes are being made straight away, and this sort of now like transfer window we're stuck in, where we're only going to sell we're going to buy more than we as much as we sell, is it just leaves another area of negativity on the club, knowing that what we've got to sell isn't really that much. And I mean, like 10 million for Granit Xhaka to Roma, for God's sake, and it's not a lot to go on, and it doesn't make it like feel like there's anything good coming our way. I mean, how do you take on it?
I mean, we have to remember that the transfer window for England doesn't formally open until tomorrow, midnight tonight. It's technically actually open, but I think as a club we suffer from being victims of the fact we forget we can sign players before it's actually open. We forget as a club, like Liverpool signed Kanate back in February, March. I mean, Bayern agreed the deal for Upamecano back in February. So we're becoming victims of not being given enough money early on and not having a clear standpoint. This is how much you're going to have minimum for us to make those signings. And I think that, look, your stance on Arteta is pretty clear, but I think that every manager we sign from here on in with the Cronkies in charge is set up to fail. I think that Unai Emery was set up to fail. I think Mikel Arteta has been set up to fail. And I think that it felt like it can get any worse than finishing 8th, no European football, and on the last day being robbed by Spurs, scoring a couple late goals against Leicester. But somehow we always find a way to make it worse. And that's been the story of the last 7, 8, 9 years.
And the rest. And then the rest. I mean, that's the point as well, is that not much that there's a manager we can't really guarantee is going to be a success. The fact that he's going to be having no resources to be able to spend and work his way up the table. I mean, you're not going to be able to build anything with nothing, and that's what basically, like, the Cronkies are basically trying to do. You want us to improve, but you're giving us no money to do it with. Well, how can we do that?
The only managers in football at the moment which I think could have the resource Arteta's got and do well would be Jurgen Klopp, Thomas Tuchel, and perhaps at a stretch someone like Julian Nagelsmann or Hansi Flick. But even them, they inherited good squads. Would any, other than Jurgen Klopp, would any of those 4 currently come into Arsenal and inherit a good enough squad to do well? No.
There's a point. There's a point. I'd say there's definitely more managers that can do a better job than what he's doing with. Whether that means we get into Europe, that's another topic to be had. But I've always made that belief that there are plenty of managers out there the way things are at the minute. And I don't want to get into Arteta as such, but I just feel there's plenty of managers out there that are doing well with squads that aren't as good. They're making the most out of their squads. So for me, it's definitely, for me, there's plenty of managers that we could go for that have the capabilities to at least get something more out of this side. But anyway, that's another debate. And is there any sort of other signings people want to mention about any particular talking points that we need to address on the transfer window? Because there's not much else coming from Arsenal in the minute. I mean, we know about Onana coming through, but I don't know whether that's been done yet, or whether that's been finalized, despite the ban still being upheld. I'm trying to get that up now, but for me, I can't see anything else other than there's not much else we can go on.
What I would say is that Arsenal's this season inability to sell players or get decent fees to players, this just shows Edu's inability and that he doesn't have a good contact net out there in the footballing world. Because as much as we can call Don Raul fraud Raul, at least he was able to get good fees for your Chamberlain, for your Iwobi, for your Jenkinsons. I mean, he got rid of Deadwood and he got money for it. But we were praising Edu for ripping apart Socrates' contract, Mustafi's contract, Özil's contract. That's something that we praised him for, and I don't understand really why he got so much praise, because we can see now Granit Xhaka, if we can't even get £20 million for a player who is in his prime age, 28, international player, captain for his home country, you should be able to sell that project to someone. And even though we don't rate or like Xhaka that much, he comes with experience, he comes with something. And man, if Liverpool can sell Ryan Brewster for 25 million, we can't even get 20 million for Swiss international. It's baffling.
Yeah. Now I quickly go through some more comments first. Let's ask James with the facts as per usual. No, that's a while back. Will thing depends on the system. Okay. Konate and Buendia, Arsenal missed out on Neves, should go to. But Konate and Buendia missed out on Neves, should go to Arsenal after he's saying he's open to a move. James with the facts, no problem. Man, honestly. I don't want to talk about actually. I don't want to talk about. What I got. I want to talk more about Guendouzi, for example, because obviously we know Guendouzi's on his way out because Arteta doesn't like him. Let's put it that way. Do you feel he could have still done a job at Arsenal? Right. Football relevance. Do you think that was an option for Arsenal that could have gone down easily, or do you think Arsenal could have used him further, or do you think that he wasn't good enough anyway?
There's been
I think
reports that
I think
Go on.
quality wise he's all right, but it's more of a problem of his attitude. And like Arteta's not like a winger manager where he kind of takes everyone under his wing and kind of like tries to fix their attitude and improve them. He just cuts off wherever person he doesn't want to be with the team. So I think it's more of his attitude more than his actual talent and ability.
Yeah, Ansi, what do you think?
I think, to be honest with you, Steve, I think if Wolves was actually smart, they can actually, because they need to replace Ruben Neves. Let's say if he does come to us, and what a player to replace him with, Guendouzi. You know, it could be a swap deal plus cash. You know, a little bit, so we're not spending as much money. But you know, I mean, obviously, you know, I think that'd be good. I think that'd be the best bet all round. Is it? You know, is it helps them out? They're replacing him with a good player. Apparently, he's been playing really well since he's left Arsenal, gone on loan. But I think, to be honest with you, I think what takes the mick a bit is the actual price tag, the £14 million mark on Guendouzi.
Oh my God.
I don't think that's to me, that takes the piss a little bit. I'll be honest with you. I think in the middle, I think he's worth at least. I think you got to put 20 in there. 20 million
If
plus.
he's worth 40 million, we might as well keep him. Right? Because you're basically saying he's good enough, right, with no issues. So the fact that you're saying there's a massive attitude problem, well, that knocks down the price then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I don't think it was really much of an attitude problem. I think it was just more like his determination. Like, sometimes that, like, that sort of
Trouble is,
attitude
Steve,
on the
he's
pitch.
young, isn't he? He's
yeah,
young.
but see,
Do you know what I mean? He does stupid. People do stupid things at that age. I mean, how old is he? Is he like 19 or 20? He's 19 or 20, isn't he?
Yeah,
I
19,
think
20.
he's just turned 21.
Yeah,
21. Yeah,
21.
And
So,
mm,
I mean, I mean, people still do stupid things at that age because they're still young. They didn't listen or whatever. He's still learning, and he's got experience. But
absolutely.
obviously, as we know, in the Premier League. But I reckon that'd be good. I think if Wolves really thought about it, they could actually do a swap deal.
I think. Do you know what? There's certain players that, I think they don't just maybe have an attitude problem. It's just that, they need to be sort of like understood and treated in a different way. And maybe from Guendouzi is that sort of player for me. And you've seen it in the past, and when they have been understood and that treated in the way they want it, they need, they become absolutely brilliant players and a great player too. So yeah, man, it's I don't see any problems with it. So I mean, Tiho, what do you think? Do you think, like, if the things would have been different, that Guendouzi could have, like, been treated, like, could have been understood, if he was understood a bit more, he could have been absolutely like a star player for Arsenal.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if he didn't put a chokehold on Maupay, I think he would have been a starter for us this season. But there have also been reports that Arsenal are considering tying him up in a new contract. So it's going to be a interesting deal, I think.
Yeah. Go. Then say, what do you say?
I'm gonna be honest. Last year, I was very mad at Arteta, but then I follow Guendouzi at Hertha Berlin, and I've also done some research about him. And the fact is, before Guendouzi came to Arsenal, he had fallen out with two different managers in two different clubs. He came to Arsenal. He did something in that Dubai trip, and he was suspended, and then he was given a chance again. Then everybody know what he did against Brighton, and he was asked to apologize. He refused to apologize. He was loaned out to Hertha Berlin. He started very well at Hertha Berlin, but then his form dipped, and then he fallen out with that manager as well. So a guy who's 21 years old, who's fallen out with four different managers at four different clubs, I think then there's the problem with that player. You can't just say that, oh, it's Arteta's fault or Arteta doesn't like him. I think Guendouzi seems to be a problem. I don't think it's a coincidence that it's always him who falls out with different managers at different clubs. And the fact that he only has 1 year left on his contract and he's a troublemaker, I think that's why it will be very hard to get any decent money from Guendouzi. And it's sad because I really liked him before. I really had high hopes for him. But the fact is, we still don't know if he's a number 8 or number 10 or number 6. We don't know his best position, and something is wrong with him. And that's how I see it now. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask just gonna run this up with one more question. I mean, what do Arsenal? What are Arsenal? Give me your 3 Arsenal targets that Arsenal should go for. Your top 3, and I'll start with T-Hop.
Realistically or dream?
Say that again.
Realistically or what dream?
Yeah, realistically.
I mean, based on the options we're going for, we definitely need a midfield option, and I guess Bissouma for that. Then, I'd sign a new right back, and it's either between Marlie from Ajax or Celtic from Lille. I mean, I'm mixed between both. I wouldn't mind both, so there's not really a preference. And I'd get a new striker, but I really don't know who. So yeah.
Goodbye, mate. It's all right. Just wanted to get rid of you. You just have to say that, mate. James, what's your top 3?
Being realistic, we're not going to get Grealish, otherwise I'd throw his hat into the ring. But I'd say I'd go Eduard, I'd go Bissouma, and then I'd go either one of Mazraoui or Celtic.
Okay, say say again for Bissouma and Odegaard. What would be your other options? Because I don't Bissouma. I think it looks like he's definitely going to Liverpool.
Alternative wise to Bissouma, I'd go for Locatelli from Sassuolo.
Okay, that's a good option.
And alternative wise to Odegaard, I'd say it has to be Hassan Mawar.
Okay, it's big call, that one. Saeed, what would you go for? Your top 3?
Grealish, Haaland, and Sancho. I think that's it.
Realistically.
Said realistic.
Nah, I'm joking. I'm just telling truth. Imagine Arsenal. Nah, you can't even imagine.
No. like, I know we did an all-time great like Arsenal 11, mate, but those days are long gone.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, but I would realistically, since Bissouma is not coming, maybe like a James Ward-Prowse, Celtic, and Neves. I think we need bodies in the midfield. I think we need players who's played in the league. And the thing what I like with James Ward-Prowse is that he's good on the ball, and obviously his set pieces is world class, and he's also at a good age.
Yeah. Anthony, who are you going for?
The top 3 things. Do you know what? I'm gonna say something different. I'm gonna say I want Arsenal to finish in the top 4. I'm gonna say I want them to win another FA Cup. And my last and not least is Arteta out. I want all that. I want that done. I want all that done without Arteta. And I tell you what, if a new manager comes in and does that for us, Steve, I'll be getting me sock out on live stream.
Oh my god, that was only because of one clip from Deep. Oh my god. That's only because one clip from DT. God. Honestly, man. You pick up on anything, man. Tiho, what's your top three?
You've asked me already.
Oh, sorry. Football relevant, sorry. I forget so easily.
Yes, okay, we forgive you.
So my top target would be Locatelli, and if we can't get him, it's probably will be Basuma. And I think we need a backup left back, and pro- and probably the IXRB. I can't say his name, Mazzari or something. Yeah, it was probably him.
So, say if that we've just said that Liverpool is going to Liverpool, who else would you be?
My number one would be Locatelli, but he's also linked with Juventus, so it's kind of unrealistic. So I'll probably just go with Neves then.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, my top three, if I've asked everyone that is, my top three would be. Ooh, what would it be? Anana looks like he's coming, so I'll include him. I'll go Neves, actually. I'll go Neves. I'll bring Willett back. Right. And put Saliba in the fold. But I'd like to get Dunk as another centre back. And yeah, then it's Max Evans for me. I'd like to get Max Evans. Like, so I watch. I live on the living on North Suffolk Boredom, having mates in Norwich fan. I do watch some Norwich football, and they are quality. He is quality, right? And yeah, and the other thing is Arteta out. Yeah, obviously, get rid of the manager. Get anyone. Klopp. No, not Klopp. Get anyone. Benitez. Right. Graham Potter. Right. Pretty much any other 19 managers in this league, really. But there you go. Sorry. But I said I wouldn't mention that anyway. But I had a little bit. But anyway, we're gonna wrap that up there, guys. So just gonna run through last few comments as well.
So nobody wants to buy Scott McTominay and David
No,
James.
No, they can stay. They can stay.
Now we have to lighten the
Next
stream
minute, you'll
up.
say we want a Fred.
Yeah. That would be so typical Arsenal, wouldn't it? To go and buy McTominay for 40 million.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, no worries, man. Those guys are pricks. Yeah, Matt. Yeah, Matt, join us after once the stream's ending, mate. Yeah, I forgot you need a right centre back. Dumfries instead of Marlon. Okay. Missouri's clear, Sven. That's a great answer. Dumfries is probably the better option of the Premier League. Not gonna lie. It's fair. Yeah. So, yeah, we're gonna leave it there. Thanks for everyone that's tuned in. Smash the like button and subscribe to Football United TV. Right, one of the best channels on here. Big up Anthony, Saeed, Tiho, Football Relevance, and James for coming on. Would be Marlie. Hopefully, will be back next week. So I will be a guest. He will be running the show, and hopefully he'll be doing it a lot better than I would be doing it. But yeah. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, right? Get them up to 700, right? And if you want to find me anywhere, you can find me on SFeatleyTV as well. Oh, actually, sorry, this is out on everyone's socials as well. So, Tiho, where can I find you, man?
You can find me on Instagram at Tico Shitposts. But to be fair, I don't really have any socials. You can find me here on basically every stream.
Wicked. James, where can I find you, mate?
Yeah, you'll find me on Instagram at TalkBallers with a Z instead of an S at the end. And yeah, you'll find me there.
Wicked. Anthony.
Yeah, you'll find me on Anthony Herbert on Instagram and Facebook. You'll find me on the on this show, Football United TV, and also you'll find me on the Stephen Featley on this show. So
SFeatleyTV.
just click like, subscribe, and Steve does a fantastic job. And if you can donate, give a donation. Also, there's one thing as well I want to say, Steve. Is Matt your boss now?
Fuck off. I'm doing it for a favour.
That's the boss, Steve.
No. He's not the boss. No. I'm a special guest. Right, you go ask Marlie. Yeah. He's the boss. Like Marley's the owner, being owned. Right, he's the one that's been under, the employee. He's gonna kill me. For the influence, where can we find you, man?
On Instagram, furry.influence.
Wicked. And Sai, my man, how can we find you?
Yeah, so you can find me on Sky Sports, BT. Nah, I'm joking.
You wish.
Yeah, I know, I do. Imagine me there with Roy Keane, you know.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, no, but you guys can find me on SFeatleyTV. You can find me here on Tuesdays, and I'm probably gonna start like an Instagram account for footballing content and stuff like that. So I'll let you know when that happens, and keep my private Instagram private. So yeah, but it's been a great show, man. Stephen, you've done a good job as usual. Fun to be here.
No, thanks, man. Thanks. Means a lot. Like I said, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. You'll find me on SFeatleyTV. Right, the link is link for my channel is in the description below. CP was supposed to be on his links in the description for his Instagram as well. Donation page that Anthony said about my channel. If you don't know about my channel, it's about raising awareness for Children's Disease Foundation whilst talking about Arsenal Football Club, football in general, and also Formula One, right? And the donation page is in the description below. So make sure you go and check that out before you do anything, before you sign off. But until then, we'll see you guys later. Until then, ciao.
Bye.